All right, we're gonna do this in a couple different videos, so hopefully you'll have some time and watch this. But if I was gonna attack a problem, this is a lot like the final project. This one is a shooting match. Dr. Getty used to be in a shotgun team, so this is kind of like what she would do at a shotgun team. Okay. You're going to create a GUI application that takes in 3 CSV files, the boy shooters, the girl shooters, and the match.csv. You're going to put that data into a database into 4 tables, the shooter, the team, the match, and the match detail. Okay. In the shooter, we need to add one here called gender. All right. In the shooter, it'll be shooter ID, first name, last name, team ID, and gender. The team will be team ID, team name. The match will be match ID, match title. And the match detail will be match detail ID, shooter ID, and points. I think here we'll do one called size. I'm trying to get this in my mind. I know we have it small, medium, and large, but maybe not. Maybe we'll just call it size for the match. It will just be like small championship, medium championship, like that. Okay, so let's call it small, medium, large in the match title. All right. Okay, let's move down here. The match CSV has a list of names and what divisions they're in. The boy shooter has first name, last name, school, and points. After I get that info into the database, I want to list the matches in a list box. When I click on the list box, I want to list all the shooters that shot in the match, ranked by points. More points is better. All right. So first thing I want to do is want to create my database. So let's come over here and look at here. So in my final project, I call it final project example. I haven't created anything in here yet. I do have the shooting match.db because I just created it with the it's not actually created. I still need to add some tables, but it was created and put into the PyCharm folder. Okay. So I need to make a new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it app, keep it lowercase. I want to make a new file called main.py. All right. At this point here, I probably want to go out and share this with. So I'll probably go here and say share project on GitHub and make it a GitHub repository. Okay. So I don't want to really do a whole lot until I get that done. So if I look at order of operation, what do I want to do? I want to probably create the GUI first, just a real basic GUI. And with that, a button or 3 buttons, a button that will add in the shooters, a button that will add in the teams, a button that will add in the match and the match details. Okay. So we want to create that part first. Okay. Then we'll just create the list box and output the list box. Okay. So we'll do kind of like in that order. So create the GUI first. You need to have kind of a little bit of the database. So for the database, let's just go ahead and create the team first, right? So you want to create it in DB browser, right? So I'm going to go team with an S. I'm going to add it. I'm going to call it team ID. I'm going to make it a primary key and auto increment it. Okay. I'm going to click OK. That's teams. I'm not going to go more than that. I'm just going to see, can we get teams working? Okay. So I just want to see if teams will work. So I'm just going to I'm going to write changes here. So I'm going to click write changes, and that will just write to our really simple database. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to type into ChatGPT. I need a GUI. I need the GUI for this. All right. So create, and I'll put in what I put in for the create the GUI using tkinter, and I want the GUI in the main.py file in a main function, and use procedural, not object oriented. Okay. Languages. I want the GUI to be 800 by 600 with a title of shooting tournament. All right. So what I put in, I'll just paste it right here. What I put in, it just made it really, really big. Let's come over here. And, okay, I just kept it, create a GUI using tkinter, and I want the GUI in the main.py file in a main function, and use procedural, not object-oriented setup. I want the GUI to be 800 by 600 with a title of shooting tournament. I want 3 buttons, and we can even call them add teams, add shooters, and add match detail. All right, so I'm going to copy all that and put it out into my ChatGPT and let it run. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, it's going to create all the stuff that we want, and I'm going to paste it in, and it's probably going to add a bunch of stuff that that we're going to need to make some adjustments to. So let's go ahead and copy that, and we'll look at the code. So I'm pasting it in. All right. So it did what we want. It imports tkinter. We have our main file, and it knew that. Okay. And didn't create a class, didn't create any object-oriented stuff. So now I want this moved to a functions.py. So I'm going to come over here to app, and actually I'm going to tell ChatGPT, remove all the functions except main.main, and put them into a functions.py file inside the app folder. Okay, and I'm gonna paste that in, and it should give it to you. So I'm gonna come back over here, and I'm gonna show you what I put into the actual. Okay, so I'm down here. That's what I put in. Remove all the functions except main, and put them into a functions.py file inside the app folder. Okay, so now if I come down and look at it, I can copy the code. I'll go over here and create a new Python file, call it functions.py, and I'll paste that in. So it adds those 3 functions into there. Now they're still over here, so I need to adjust, and if I go over and copy my code and just replace all the code that's there, notice that now they're up here, add team, add shooters, match details, and they're right here. Okay, so at this point, I want to run it. Okay, let's just see what it does. So I'm going to say on the current file, run it. I actually kind of like this. So if you right click and say run main, it's going to run main. It doesn't actually do anything, okay, except you'll see that it is outputting stuff, because if you look here, it does say print out what you clicked. Kind of cool. All right. So that's going to be the very first thing I do. So when I click, I can actually, because I right clicked here and said run main, and that's our main control panel one. Even if I'm clicked here and I click run, it's going to keep trying to run main. So that's kind of nice. Okay. So I can make adjustments, and it will make it. All right. So here's my main GUI that I'm going to use. And I could just simply type in, add a list box for all the teams, no, for all the matches that have gone on. And now it will add a list box. So I'm going to come back over here, and let me show you what I put in. So for my next thing that I typed in, I just said add a list box for all the matches that have gone on, and it's going to say do it in your main.py. So it's going to adjust the main.py. All right, let's take a look at it. All right, meanwhile, while we're doing that, these don't have very good comments, so make sure you do some commenting on these a little bit better, okay? All right, let's come over and take a look at our code. It's just about all the way finished. All right, so I'm going to copy that code. I'm going to paste it in over here. All right, and let's just take a look at what it did. Here's our 3 buttons still, and then here's our list box, and here's some sample data. Okay, now if I run it, we have our list box, and we have our all of our teams and stuff like that. Notice it's still working, and here's our list box, and you can click on them like so. Okay. This will be adjusted with the new stuff coming in. Okay. Yep, I think that's good for right now. I think that is a good enough video to get you started. In the next video, we will do this first one here on how to add teams and how to get it to go into the add it right into the database.